Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Naps and Taps, episode 7. Marcus, what's up?
Long time no see, everybody.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's good to be back. Do you know that in the time since between episodes, we've left it so long, we've got an arrival / copycat.
Oh, wow. Tell me more.
Yeah, I was like looking up on YouTube because the first 2 episodes this year I've been like, what episode number are we again? So I like looked up our YouTube.
Naps and Taps, by the way.
Yeah, looked up our YouTube, Naps and Taps, the original Naps and Taps.
Or OG Naps and Taps.
Yeah. I like
Not this faker.
on my phone, like my phone's linked to my personal account, so I was like, okay, I have to actually search on YouTube Naps and Taps, and I search, and this other dude comes up, and he's like this weird hipster, sort of 20-ish looking guy, white guy, beard, the whole hipster thing, and he's got this channel. He's called it Naps and Taps because his stickers are kind of. I only had the chance to look at one video because my data for the month is almost out. It's 2 days before it resets. Yeah. But it's basically like he's kind of like.
An ASMR kind of guy, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. He's like kind of helping people
fall asleep
and do that, and that's why his is Naps and Taps, because it's kind of like the only video I had a chance to look at. I looked at one of his videos for 1 second because I clicked it by mistake, so I used up some of my data on that. He's just kind of like in front of the microphone looking like all goofy and smiley and kind of like clicking his fingers and like.
How many views has he got though? That's the
heaps
point.
More than us.
Holy shit.
So like apparently like helping people to fall asleep with actual ASMR is better than helping them fall asleep with boring Jiu-Jitsu.
Bad talking and bad podcasting. Well,
apparently it's a lot more effective. Yeah. But the thing is, like, I want to like start an internet war with him because I know it might like boost our profile.
That's definitely going to help.
But the guy...
Let's see how many of our audiences fall asleep more than watching us or watching it.
Well, we can put at least 20 people to sleep.
I know.
But whereas his videos are all like getting like thousands of views or whatever, so, you know...
And
He started like a month ago, like
holy shit!
So, and he's already got like 8 or 9 episodes up in the month that our slack asses weren't even uploading a thing.
Wow,
which is weird.
He probably quit his day job to do that. You know, just like 8 or 9 videos.
Then again, if he has problem getting to sleep himself, he's got more time than us because I get like my 8 hours.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't even know what ASMR was until like I saw this thing.
Oh really? Have you seen all like those? A lot of it started with eating. People doing like recording themselves eating and chewing.
So it's just kind of like white noise that helps people fall asleep.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it. It kind of like he looked like this. If I am going to start beef, I may as well go in on him. Like he looks like, you know how the fake feminist.
Oh,
like
white knight, white noise.
Yeah.
White noise. White knight, white noise instead of naps and
taps. That's your new name. Delete your naps and taps channel.
I thought taps and naps.
Yeah, exactly.
Or we're gonna sue you.
Yeah. Change it to taps and naps or something. Because the thing is, like, you look at it, and our one is just naps and taps, but all he did was extend it. Like his one is like naps and taps dash with whatever this guy's name is dash ASMR. So he just made his one the long-winded one. But yeah, like...
Have we ever actually explained why we call ours Naps and Taps?
Yeah, I thought we did in episode 1 because of the fact that we're both like...
Big time nappers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're both...
I just took a nap, that's why we were late.
Yeah, well, people don't... It's not a recorded show, fortunately, but this motherfucker left me in his lobby for like 25 minutes.
So sorry about that.
The Penguins are on, and like you were 5 minutes away from me texting, being like, man, fuck this, there's a hockey game on, I'm out.
Yeah.
Then we would have had to wait another month, and that would have been like a bad scene.
Yeah.
But... yeah, so, I mean, it annoys me. Like, we tried a podcast. We were like, we'll call it White Belt Life, as anyone who watched the first 2 episodes on my actual YouTube channel would have known. Then we're like, that name's taken. We'll think of another one. But this guy's like, that name's taken. Fuck it. And, like, part of me feels bad.
Maybe he didn't even look.
Well, he must have, because he would have gone to register the channel on YouTube, and that's why he would have had to have that goofy long name. I'm just going to assume he looked and knew because that helps my narrative.
He's just so in love with his name. Like, this is the best name ever. Nobody's going to misinterpret this. Nobody's going to call it something.
Naps.
Exactly.
But you know, anyway, there's so many threads here of things we're going to talk about. One, I kind of feel bad starting an internet war with him because he's clearly trying to help people who need help. But 2, I want an internet war, so this guy who's helping people is just going to become like my victim, and our legion of 20 fans can gang up on his thousands, and that'll be But our fans know Jiu-Jitsu though, so...
Yeah, so don't want to fuck with people who know Jiu-Jitsu.
And our fans are well rested.
Sleep is... I don't know if you saw the Joe Rogan podcast with this sleep specialist called Matthew Walker or something. But his podcast, or that episode, was really enlightening on the importance of sleep and how it's like probably one of the most effective performance-enhancing drugs that there is out there.
Kimmo, what's up?
athletes or just for everyday life. Like,
I didn't watch that. I'm sure that guy's a great expert. I'm sure he knows what he's talking about, but I didn't watch it for the pure reason that I already believe him.
Right,
I know sleep's important and I get it. So I kind of didn't need someone to tell me for another 2 hours. Well, I already know that eating sugar is bad for me, even though I do. So again, I don't need to hear another expert tell me that. So that's kind of why I skipped over that. And whereas we do a podcast a month, Joe Rogan does 10 a day, and it's kind of hard to watch them all. But don't get me wrong, I'm sure the dude knew what he was talking about. I'm not trying to shit on him, but I'm I'm already subscribing to your message. We're good.
Yeah, I sleep way more. That's why I had this comment on the podcast saying, "What about oversleeping?"
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about oversleeping than I am about undersleeping. I'm not guilty of undersleeping at all.
Dude, on Saturday, on Saturday going into Sunday, I slept 10 to 12 hours, but then it was the time change, so it felt like I'd slept 13. It was crazy.
Yeah, daylight savings.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, we should probably we've said why we're naps and taps. I want to go back to that because in case this could be our biggest hitting podcast, because maybe all of his followers are fuck these guys, who are they? We call ourselves naps and taps because tapping is what you do. What I do a lot.
What everybody does.
What I do a hell of a lot in jiu-jitsu classes. Tapping is a whole
surrendering.
I surrender, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And because we both you do your music, I do my stand-up, plus I work a day job, which is an actual day job. You work hard, even though it's not a desk job like me. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, say he works hard. After work, I normally need a nap before hitting jiu-jitsu, so naps, taps.
Yeah.
That's us. We're not trying to this guy with the other podcast seems like he's that dude who's
why taps? What does taps have to do with?
Well, I guess it's because it's one of the sounds he was making, maybe, but I don't know, maybe because clicks or snaps. So he could have called it snaps and naps.
Yeah. Snaps. Yeah. Well, now I gotta check it out. What kind of this is actually? How would this help people fall asleep?
I don't know. I only saw one of his videos. I'm sure there's a lot of different things he does, and he kind of.
We'll put a link into.
We will not. Then we'll fucking get his own viewers.
All right. Okay. He doesn't need help from us.
Yeah, exactly. He's already got 1,000 more than us. That guy should put a link to us.
Yeah. If he has a heart, which I doubt.
Probably doesn't. If we were girls, he'd hook us up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But no,
hashtag feminism.
I suspect that dude probably got started because he was it's the whole fake white knight thing, and he's like, hey baby, you got problems falling asleep, and he helps them fall asleep, and then he sticks his dick in them while they're sleeping. Fact. No proof, but fact still.
Yeah, but rumor.
Anyway, we've already defamed and started a war. We should probably, that's 8 minutes of our podcast, hating on another podcast. So, what's up?
Hey, you got a better idea of gaining subscribers, let us know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Subscribe, tell your friends, the original Naps and Taps. Yeah. What else has been going on? What you got? I
got a funny little story, speaking of hashtag feminism, is so at our gym, how our bathrooms have no gender, non-gender basis bathrooms.
The ones upstairs.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
Even the changing rooms are male and female, but all the bathrooms for water, for where everybody gets their water and when they need to go to the toilet, they have no signs. I don't know if you've ever encountered this, but sometimes when I'm using the bathroom, some girls will come and be like, "This is the women's only bathroom." Have you ever heard that from people?
No one's told me that.
I
just use whichever one's free upstairs.
Exactly. But one of the bathrooms has a better sink than the other one, right?
Yeah.
The water comes out of it, so everybody's lining up for that one. And then so this one time I was just washing my face at that bathroom, and then a black belt girl came in and just shoved me out of the way. No talking, nothing. Just pushed me right out of the way, and then shoved her water bottle right in front of the sink with the water flowing because I was using it. And she was like, "This is just for women." And luckily for me, I've already had this scenario played out in my head because I've seen other girls tell people to fuck off, even though the room has no sign saying that is women or whatever. And then I was like, but I identify as a female.
You said that?
I already had that. I was actually hoping that somebody would do that, because you know how a lot of comedians when they appear to be really like spontaneous and how to deal with hecklers. We can talk about that later. They have all these like comeback lines worked up. And I had that worked. I was like, hopefully someone would do that to me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, boom, and then she pushed me out of the way. She's like, oh, this is one for a woman. I was like, but I identify as. This happened on International Women's Day. This was on International Women's Day, which was another bullshit holiday. We can go about that. But
that's not. There's a Men's Day too. Relax. No one gives a fuck about it, but there is one.
Exactly. So and then I was like, but I identify as a woman. And then she literally shut him and go, what? Really? And I was like, what? Are you misgendering me? And then I managed to get out all of my lines on her. I was like, this is not very ladylike of you to push me, a female, out of the way on International Women's Day. And then she was just like, I just wanted to an equal opportunity for both. Yeah. And then I kind of, so
man, why do they get the better tap?
That was my only tap on a black belt, probably. That was the only way I got
Jiu-Jitsu.
a verbal tap from
I've never seen anyone kick anyone out of that bathroom. I've seen dudes go in and out of that bathroom all the time. I've used it. I know the one you mean though, because one of those taps up there is straight up shitty. I'm gonna have to carry 3 liters of water with me if I can't use that good bathroom.
The sink is just useless.
Speaking of, I got my first heckler yesterday. Speaking of like pre-prepared material.
Did you have a line?
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
Well, the thing is, like, I've got a line that I can use as long as I'm an open micer, and I guess I'm not sure if I should ruin it, but I've already admitted that I've got a pre-prepared one. So whatever. If you see this on tape and you come up to one of my open micers, then you'll know that it's.
The more you get heckled, the more lines you write.
You'll know what's up. But like, there's this guy who's heckling everyone all night. But I basically. And he was really drunk on a Monday, so I guess good for him. But no,
depressed motherfucker.
I have like a standard. It's not even a line, like it's a diatribe, like because it's an open mic night. Like he had been heckling everyone, and I just kind of looked at him and I was like, "Oh, so you're the guy who's been heckling everyone all night, right?" And like everyone was kind of like, "Yeah." And I was like, "So, what are you hoping to get from heckling people in open mic night?" Like as a comic, I'm hoping I'm going to try this out, see if I'm good at it. Then maybe one day I'll get booked. Then maybe one day I'll get it. Then from there I'll keep on getting better, and I'll get a special. And then one day my name will be in lights, and it'll all happen. I've got these delusions of grandeur. What are your ambitions? It's like, are you going to start by heckling people in an open mic night? Then if you're good enough at heckling people here, you're going to like work your way up to like heckling
Jim Jeffries.
You're gonna exactly. You're gonna like, but I did it longer. I was like, you're gonna heckle your way up to like heckling people at like local booked comedians at comedy bar,
and then theaters, and then arenas.
Exactly. Then one day you're gonna heckle Chris Rock at Madison Square Garden, and you're gonna be like, I've made it.
Oh,
I'm the world's greatest heckler.
That's pretty good. Did you get a good?
Yeah, I got a good laugh from everyone else, and he was just kind of like, okay, continue with your act.
What did he say though?
He just said, "Oh, you've lost them," which is kind of true because, to be fair, normally I don't do my material on here because I'm kind of like, want to keep it for my stand-up. This material I'm happy to burn. I was doing like some shit on Michael Jackson and how...
Leaving Neverland.
Yeah, exactly. I was just kind of like... started off with like... So yeah, I did actually get some chuckles out of this material, but he was just kind of like... all right.
You're supposed to bomb at an open mic. What are you even talking about? Like,
and it was the first time I'd done that material, and I did it without like looking at my notes, so I just did it. And I was like, so... apparently Michael Jackson is in the news, which is kind of weird because I knew that he was doing that shit like 20 years ago. So if anyone else has missed any other mid-90s news stories, Bill Clinton got a blowjob from his intern and there's a war in the Middle East. Bam, you're caught up with your mid-90s news. And then I go on to be like...
And Michael Jordan is really great.
Yeah, exactly. Michael Jordan can ball. So I was like... Thanks for the other tag. I might, if I ever use this material again, which I probably won't, I might use that. But yeah, then I go on to being like, and radio stations in New Zealand and Canada ban Michael Jackson's music, which is weird because a dead guy doesn't really cash many royalty checks, so how's it hurting him anyway?
Wow, they banned it.
Yeah.
Straight up, huh?
Yeah, they banned...
like all music.
We'll get into that. They banned Michael Jackson's music, and then I was like, but all that's hurting is his estate because, Michael ain't around to cash his royalty checks. And I was like, I guess the radio stations decided it was time someone fucked his children. And yeah, then I was kind of like, had this whole stick about how like Blanket was actually probably a little bit young for Michael. Like Blanket was like 7 when he passed away. Michael preferred teenagers. So we might have the only child on this planet who's happy his dad died when he was young.
Yeah.
Saved himself from being molested. It's like, whew, got off light on that one.
Wow.
And
I'm surprised you didn't get heckled on that one.
Well, I did.
Oh, okay. That was when he.
He kind of did that, and then I came in and I was like, but then again, maybe Michael was getting up to funny things with his kid. Blanket's a weird enough name. Maybe it was a cover. Like, imagine Michael's friends ringing him up on a Saturday night, being like, Michael, we're going to hit the club. Like, you want to come with? And he's like, nah, man, had a really rough day. I'm just going to, like, stay in and cuddle my blanket. And then the next day, your friend rings up and is like, we're kind of worried about you being a bit reclusive. Can we come over and catch up with you, see if he's all right? Be like, guys, give me a bit of time to clean up. The place is a mess, and there's like blood and semen all over the blanket. And it was at that point the guy's like, "Oh, you've lost us." But there's still some people like you, like
that's good,
like the dark humor.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay,
that's very brave of you. I gotta commend you. Like, to do that at an open mic to go on with jokes like that. That's very well. That's how you do it.
There were no girls there, so I was kind of like, felt a little bit more involved, as there are not at most open mics. But no, so I mean that item is going to be out of the news cycle, so I'm happy ditching that material and letting it be podcastable. Other stuff I'll keep, but
Michael Jackson is kind of a tragic story if you know the whole thing about.
Oh yeah, of course. Like I feel like a piece of shit for even like.
No, it's not. It's not that you can't make fun of him, but I'm just talking about the other side, like how he got chemically castrated by his dad. Did you know about that?
Is that true? Because then again, like that's either true or the molesting stuff is true, and one of them's a lie, one of them isn't. So that's what a lot of like Michael Jackson's like fans use to be like, he can't have touched those kids. His dad chemically castrated him. Like
no, he can still molest people. Yeah, even with no dick. I mean there are a number of ways that you can do it. We don't have to go into them, but. Exactly. You can use. There are many tools that you can use to molest kids. Not that we're condoning, but you don't need a dick to molest a child. In case you're wondering.
That's true. Should probably move along from that almost either. But yeah, it's definitely a sad story. It's sad for him, sad for the kids that he definitely touched. So all you Michael Jackson deniers out there, facts again.
Tune the pink when it's stink.
Yeah. So yeah, he kind of gave me back the floor, and then I got on with all the other.
That's good.
Shit
That's good.
That I have. So.
I think you handled that perfectly.
Try to, but I guess now the next time I do that, the one person who watches this podcast is like, do the Madison Square Garden joke, and I'm like, fuck, now I'm going to actually think of something to like shut this guy down with.
Yeah. But that's what you need to do. You need to come. Like a lot of it is imagining yourself doing stand up, and then sort of having that visual. Visualize yourself, and then when you can have counter to counters, and you can have comebacks to comebacks, and that's how you build yourself into becoming like Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, the king. I guess the other thing I could have said to him is be like, don't worry. Your kids would be safe because if they look like you, they'll be ugly as fuck.
Exactly. Who wants to rape you? Yeah.
So yeah, there's did one open.
Did you catch up? Oh yeah, okay. Did you catch up on that Jussie Smollett story?
Yeah.
Isn't that hilarious?
It's craziness. Like the competition to find the most hated man in the US is like over. Like I know Donald Trump's approval rating is low, but like Jussie Smollett, most hated man in the USA. Congratulations.
Holy shit.
Because like
holy shit.
All the conservative Americans are like, fuck this lying guy, this is proof that fake news exists, rah rah rah, it's all like left-wing agenda. And all the like left-wing Americans hate him because they're like, dude,
you fucked us.
Now you've given now every time a news story comes up, conservatives are going to be like, oh yeah. Just like that Smollett guy, whatever, fake news.
Like
lies.
Nowadays, a lot of reality television. I don't mean reality TV, but stuff that happens in the news. They're more entertaining than a lot of shit on Netflix.
Yeah,
if I want a good laugh or a good like shock value, I just go on the news and read about like Jussie Smollett or like Jeff Bezos, just crazy shit happening in real life.
It's a problem, right? It's like the problem with news is like. And I hate to say the problem with news because, like, I used to work for a network back home, and a lot of my friends are hard-working journalists with integrity and balls, but metaphorical balls. They're both male and female, but guts, bravery,
integrity.
Integrity is kind of the key word. Yeah, but there's just kind of the new culture of how Twitter and everything assimilates things so fast. People are just like, you get swept in that rush to publish, be first, get it out there first, as opposed to like maybe, you know, step back, fact check, or like even care, or, you know.
Yeah. What he did is like, what he did belongs on a TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so far-fetched and inconceivable that only a fiction piece can have something like that.
Well, exactly. That's what. Maybe he's just out there trying to get like a writer's gig after the acting thing. That's a way to prove it. But like every other like podcast I've already seen has already like pointed out like the flaws. But like, you know, he left the news on for 45 minutes. Supposedly, two guys who hate black people and gay people like saw him on. Is he on Empire or Atlanta?
Empire.
Yeah. Either way, like
I've never seen the show. I didn't even know who he was until this.
It's got
just like a
reasonably
lot of
good bad/good publicity for the show. It's gotten the name out there in a terrible way.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny. A friend of mine was like, he was on Facebook being like, well, people boycotted Roseanne and like ended her career. Why is no one calling for the boycott of this? And I was like, instead of being the guy making that status update, be the guy trying to get the boycott going. Like, start the movement. I'll join, but like, you know, a lot of those people.
Well, the thing is with Roseanne, like, she's kind of, I don't. Yeah, I mean, that guy makes a fair point, but then what he did wasn't, I guess, too related to Empire. But then I guess what Roseanne did wasn't really related to her show either. But he should be fired from the show, which he has been. So that's fine. I mean, I don't think the show should be too affected by that. It's not like the show was like, go ahead, here's some money to do that.
Yeah. No, exactly. But like, there was like, when it first kind of came up in the news and when my friend made that status, it looked like they weren't going to fire him. It looked like they were just going to, even when it came out that he was lying and it was all false, it looked like the show wasn't going to fire him. They're just like, oh, he's mental.
But thankfully, we have the internet police and everybody.
But yeah, I mean, like I agree. Like if it should either be no one gets fired for doing goofy shit in their personal life, or everyone gets fired for doing goofy shit in their depending on what the goofy shit is. You know what I mean?
I mean that is as goofy as it can be.
I mean, like I said, I said to him, I was like, well, I'll boycott the show, but I've never watched a single episode of my life anyway. But you know, consider me down. Show boycotted. Tick. So.
Did you check out Ben Askren?
Yeah, I watched that. That was a pretty good card all around. I watched the whole rest of the card. Did you just watch the Askren fight?
Yeah,
because of the interest in the grappler.
Yeah.
Man, dude can take a hit too.
Holy shit! Yeah, it looks like he was losing the whole fight.
Yeah,
like he had no chance, and then for some miracle reason, he just had that choke on him.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Was it early stoppage?
I don't think so. I mean, like
it looked pretty bad.
It looked like his arm went limp, and he wasn't really. I mean, and even then, like the thumb. Apparently, he gave Herb a thumbs up, but it was really hard to see it.
I didn't see it
from any angle. And just because, like, you're giving a thumb, like I've seen plenty of examples in where a dude's like getting ground and pound, and he kind of like looks at the ref and is like, "I'm okay," but he's still getting like pummeled, and the ref's like, "No, you're not." So
it's ultimately the ref's decision.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen ref stopping fights with less. Than a choke, you know. So
exactly.
Like, I don't know if you've seen Amanda Nunes versus Ronda Rousey, but Ronda Rousey was just getting punched, standing up. You know, she wasn't knocked down or anything, but she was already kind of losing it.
That fight was going nowhere
like
for
noodle
Rousey
legs.
either.
So the ref called it, and it was.
But I thought it was a fair stoppage, and like I mean, some people were arguing that it should have been stopped even before when Lawler was pummeling him.
That's true.
But I honestly thought Askren was doing just enough. Like he was getting a beating, but he was moving just enough to like. Not only was he like when people are just kind of doing this, but they're still getting a pummeling. I think that's probably not enough. But like Askren was like moving his body as well as putting his arms up. He was moving his body, trying to get a different position, and he ultimately did. So the proof, like people saying, "Oh, it should have been stopped earlier." Well, clearly not, because if it should have been stopped earlier, then
Ben wouldn't have been.
Then exactly. If it should have been stopped earlier, then Askren would have been hurt, and then you'd be saying, "Oh, it should have been stopped earlier. That was irresponsible." But the fact that Askren did get out of it and got into that position is proof that it shouldn't have been stopped earlier. Yeah. But I think like Lawler kind of had an arm up, trying to like move his arm from above. And then it went limp to the side. So like, what else are you supposed to do?
It really didn't look good. He's just like,
Yeah, so that's
anybody watching that fight objectively would think that that he's going out. So.
I definitely think Askren won that, and there are people calling for a rematch, which to me is just like plain weird. Like, if there's a title on the line and it's a contentious victory for one person or the other, then you can start talking rematch. But if there's no title on the line, it's just ranking points, then I don't think there's any situation outside of... I don't think there's any situation in a non-title fight that grants an immediate rematch. Like, maybe you like don't penalise the guy who lost as harshly in terms of his ranking points if it was a shitty decision, but still let them go their own paths and fight other people, because they're going to meet in the middle before a title shot or after one of them's had a title shot anyway. Why do you need an immediate rematch? Like, a rematch that far down the division would just hold the division up. So keep them moving. Give them both new opponents.
Yeah, these wrestlers, man. They're so tough. You know, that's the thing. Like, people who train wrestling, judo, jiu-jitsu, they have a high tolerance for...
you're good.
They have a super high tolerance for damage. You know, you can just throw hammers at them, and there's just those, and they just keep coming at you. What would be fun is Ben Askren versus Khabib.
Yeah. What weight would you do that at, though?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
The problem is, like, I don't know how big Khabib is when he's at his walking weight, but like Askren, I don't think he can. Well, maybe he'd have to be super disciplined with his diet, because I mean, I was about to say I don't think he can go lower, but that's just because I saw him walking out there as DJ Dad Bod into the Lawler fight. But the fact that he is a Dad Bod at 170 makes you think maybe he could make 155 if he really wanted to. But yeah, that'd be like, one for the purists if you could get it there. I don't know how much. I'm also I don't know whether because Askren coming from one championship, they didn't have weight cutting there. Like, so they monitor your hydration levels all throughout
Askren is
your
a lot
camp
older.
before. Yeah, so, and it gets harder to cut weight when you're... I think it's probably a bit too soon to talk about a super fight for him, maybe if he kind of keeps going. And, but that Usman, that guy is he's... I was about to say, if you could get, like, the belt at 170, then you can start thinking about a super fight. But, Usman dominated his stablemate Woodley. That was incredible. Like, a lot of people were calling it a boring fight, but I was, like, just impressed by how dominant a performance it really was. Like, I've never seen a belt holder get that dominated. Like, Usman won every round, and a couple of them were 10-8, so I've never seen, like, a champion get that dominated in a defense. It was incredible. So that's... I could see Usman going on like a long run of defences as well. It's kind of incredible. I've been a bit slack over February, been getting back into training over March, but you've been cranking out the jiu-jitsu. So let's get jiu-jitsu podcast, get into it.
I've been signing up on a lot of YouTube channels for I call them YouTube senseis. So I learn technique on YouTube on my bed, and then I take them to practice to the rolling classes and just see if I can implement them. Most of the time I don't, but then sometimes I try to look for like very simple techniques that don't have like 14 steps to them. Just like a sweep or a finish, 2-3 steps, easy to memorize, easy to pull off, and then see if I can catch people.
Are you going to buy one of those dummies that you get at martial arts stores? That way you can get the YouTube tutorial and actually step your way through it.
I feel like a live sparring partner is really what I need. I mean, if I can pull it off on a dummy, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's kind of hard to, like, any time you're drilling in class, you're still kind of doing it with... It's almost like a human dummy when you do class drills and whatnot.
You need a live person who's resisting, in my opinion. So I saw this video by Andre Galvao. He's a shout out to him, not that he needs any more followers, but he said something very interesting that stuck with me. He said, I don't understand why people pass standing up. I really don't, and I was like, holy, because all we've been taught in our gym is that we pass standing up. Someone's on the ground and we try to go around his legs like that. But then he pointed out that when you do that, and I can speak from personal experience, I just get my legs mangled, with like De La Rivas, reverse De La Rivas, X-guard, fucking leg locks, all kinds of shit just comes right on my legs when I'm standing. So he taught this way of like low passing. Yeah. Just get as low as you can, and then pressure and push the guy, and then just pressure pass, but low. So your legs are unavailable, inaccessible for any attacks.
So Mike teaches that, though.
Oh,
Like, but the big bald
Yeah.
with the beard, he teaches that. Like, you're kind of describing like a sort of like, I can't do it well enough now because it was a while ago that he was showing us that technique. But it's
for sure, like there are a lot of good passing techniques that our gym teaches for sure. But I'm just realizing that I don't want to pass standing anymore. You know, so and then I tried to pull that off on some blue belts that are better than me, and I've been passing their guards like crazy. You know, and the guy was even like kind of surprised. You know, when I passed his guard and I got him in like a Ezekiel. I didn't finish him, but it was fucking close. You know, he was turning purple. He was one of those really stubborn guys. Like he was like, I've been tapping this guy for months. I'm not gonna let him tap me. He was turning purple. And he forced his way out of the Ezekiel, and I almost didn't want to finish it because it was just so deep. It was like my hand was here. You know. So, but then he still got out. But then it was still and then he tapped me like 3 times. But I still felt like it was a small win for me because I passed his guard, and he's one of those super flexible guys who can get his legs up behind his neck and all that, and then so it was a win for me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this low passing shit, and I've been pulling off some good passing. So
nice, that one is. I can't remember what the name of that pass is, or even if Mike
like Toriando. Toriando. Throwing people's legs and you just step around them. Like, I've been trying to do that, but with a lot of upper belts, you know, you're not going to be able to throw their legs away.
No, that's exactly what Mike had. He kind of like, it starts out like a Toriando, but you like wrap an arm underneath it, and then you like bury the shoulder and about hip level, and hold their legs, and basically like kind of almost get into side control by kind of squirming around from.
So your legs are out of their reach.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. Like you like as you're like. It's almost like a rugby tackle for like the New Zealand audience of the half of this show. You kind of like got him in the bottom of like a rugby or a football tackle here, and exactly. You like kind of move your feet round, driving your head in, and like walking your feet round until you basically like walk yourself into side control from that spot. So
conceptually, it's about not getting your legs exposed. You know, I mean, if you can stand up and be away from them so they can't grab your legs, that's fine too, I guess. But what my problem is that I've just been getting my legs mangled by upper belts who know what they're doing.
Well, even that, like, it kind of like works better for me. Like when you've got that leg and that, just because they're the guys that I work against are so much better on being on their back and they're flexible and strong. And the fact that I've got a weak upper body, you try and shuck. And I'm just like, whereas like you should be like actually shucking them and it's not working. But you know, for this, you're just like, oh, the shuck's not working, so you're just like, I'm going here now. Definitely works a lot better for me too. So.
It's amazing how just a few tweaks and just a new concept can dramatically improve your game.
You'll have to get me onto these dudes so I can start watching some more of it. I need to start searching for specific things because there have been times.
And there's this one sweep that I learned from Renzo Gracie, another great jiu-jitsu legend. It was like a counter to the over-under pass. You know, I'm learning a lot of techniques that are counters to the things that we learn in our gym. Exactly. So when I'm able to pull it off, it's even better because everybody does the thing that we know, right? So we know the over-under pass, the one leg over your shoulder, one leg under. But sometimes with blue belts and the lower belts, the leg isn't really on the shoulder so much. It's really on the bicep. So they don't have much power. And you can sort of trap their arm between your legs when they like try and do that, and then they don't have enough strength. So I just do that, and then I trap their arm, and then I just do like a hip. I can send you the link to the video. It's really great sweep, and I've been able to pull off on a lot of people, and it's a great feeling.
I was like,
it's like when you put down a heckler.
Exactly. It's just as good. I wish I could have tapped that guy. It's kind of like half of me is like, you know, hoping that like. Verbal jiu-jitsu or drive. Like, have you ever seen the footage of Jim Jeffries getting hit by that guy in Manchester?
He should have had jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. Half of me is thinking like, if everyone was laughing at you before, like try something now that'll be hilarious.
Exactly. Did you know Maynard from Tool does jiu-jitsu, right?
Purple belt,
exactly,
right?
yeah. But I don't know when this happened if he was a purple belt, but some fan came up on stage when he was singing and was like trying to hug him or grab him or whatever, and then he hip tossed him, and then he mounted his back, and then wrapped the mic cord around his neck, and then continued singing.
That's awesome. Is there footage of that?
Yeah, of course.
Did you see that?
I'll link you.
Yeah, we should like chuck it in the corner or something. I don't know, we might get tugged off YouTube or.
No, we should just shout out. I think we're fine.
Yeah, we'll just shout it out. That looks. Search for that yourself. I'm gonna search for that.
Yeah, it's really good. Just
that's hilarious.
Yeah, Maynard from Tool, hip tosses fan and then wraps his cord around. He talked about it on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Oh, I watched that podcast. I must have like forgotten about that part, or like maybe it's one of those ones where I kind of skimmed over it and didn't watch it all. It's funny. This will just become the we break down Joe Rogan's podcast, but you see the most recent one with Russell Peters and Mike Tyson.
Oh no, Lennox.
Lennox Lewis. I was just about to correct myself. But they played the video footage of Russell Peters put a jewelry thief in a rear naked because Russell Peters is a blue belt and no stripes.
Two stripes now.
Oh, did he get his 2 stripes?
I think after that altercation, Jean-Jacques probably just go, you're here in 2 stripes.
Yeah. Because apparently he is pretty good, but his lifestyle, he doesn't have time to get in the gym as much as he should.
Yeah, but he does have the cash for a lot of private lessons. Though.
Yeah, so that's true. He could be. But if Joe Rogan says he's legit, he's legit. But he's saying that Joe Rogan's like, oh, I'm surprised you don't have any stripes yet, and he's like, oh, my coach says I'm probably due, but because. Or Joe's even like, he up to purple yet? And he's like, I'm going to get my stripes first, So obviously pretty well, the video footage of him putting that guy in the rear naked is like proof in the pudding. Like that's the one thing. I think I'm getting okay at Jiu-Jitsu in the gym, but I'm not sure. I'm still like, how good would I be at it if some guy was actually trying to hit me in the street? Or...
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know how I would really want to invite an altercation, but then at the same time, I kind of want it to happen. Just like that bathroom situation. Like I really played out a lot of scenarios what could happen because I've seen that. I've seen girls push guys off the bathroom. I was like, this is not right. This is not fair. And then I just played it in my mind, and and then I go and then everything happened.
To be fair,
what I want.
I'm surprised that she didn't say hit you up about not the fact that you're pretty unshaven and unkept. Like if you were,
I have a line for that. I'll be like, well, it's not, gender is a social construct and all this nonsense, right? I can just be like, just because I appear to be male doesn't mean I'm not. A lot of the things that I hate to say. I will say it just for the comedic effect.
I think you're I don't want to tell you what you should look like, but I think you'd be a pretty shitty you'd be a pretty shitty boy, girl, or whatever it is, But don't, for that upstairs changing room that's unlabeled, that upstairs bathroom that's unlabeled, maybe sure, but I'm going to go ahead and say don't try and get changed in their changing rooms and use that line.
But what do you think?
You'll probably need to find a new gym if you try that one.
What do you think, though, about, the another recent... what do you call this?
Their changing room would be a lot less crowded, though.
Exactly. This wave of transgender athletes beating female sports people in their...
That's straight up bullshit.
Right?
I try and tiptoe around some of these social issues because of the fact I have a day job, but fuck it, if my day job sees me saying this is bullshit and they don't like it, they can fire me.
They can fuck right off.
Because I'll stick by it. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's pretty,
There's weightlifting, there's cycling, there's MMA now, there's what the fuck? What is this?
Fuck that.
Tennis? What the fuck is going on?
If a transsexual tried to fight my daughter in MMA, I'd beat the fuck out of that transsexual myself.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy, but
it's left-wing politics gone insane.
I vote left-wing as well, and even I think it's bullshit, so it's the ultra insane.
It's extreme left-wing. There's everything in moderation. You can be a left kind of guy, you're kind of progressive, but then when you start saying men are exactly the same as women in terms of physique and sports things, then no.
It's been kind of proven that you look at just look at, sure, there are women that can beat the fuck out of me, there are women who can run faster than me, there are women who can hit a slap shot in hockey faster than me, all those things exist. But the best man's slap shot is still faster than the best woman's. The fastest man is still faster than the fastest woman, and we're shaped differently. There are women who can beat the fuck out of me, but
so what do they do?
As you get, when you get to the top of the top man is going to beat the fuck out of the top woman. It's just, we're designed differently. It's how it is, and like it is an unfair advantage. Like if a transsexual is going to be allowed to compete in a women's sport, then women should just be like, it's a fucking steroid party.
Yeah.
The women should be allowed as many steroids and performance enhancing drugs as they want, and the transsexual one is just like, okay, you're transgender, so those are your performance enhancing drugs. Like, go nuts. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, but if people want to compete in sport, maybe we could start having 4 divisions. We could start being like, okay, well, born as man, it's still man. Born as woman, still woman. Let's have a let's have a transgender competition.
But then where will it end? It's just gonna keep spiraling out of control.
Either way, I can see why people who are in weightlifting would be outraged at like some sort of former man coming in and like, I
don't know if you've seen the picture, but he's like a mount, or she is a mountain, and then the number 2 and 3 are just ridiculous.
I think there's like, I can't remember, it was either a New Zealander or an Australian that was like at the centre of some weightlifting controversy like that. No, I'm pretty unapologetic that like if you're born a man you shouldn't be competing in women's sport, and like
doesn't make any sense. I can't believe that we have to argue about this in fucking 2019.
The thing is that like it harks back to like another argument of like, sometimes not everyone gets to do everything. Life isn't always fair. Like, I'm really glad I was born in the body of the sex I identify with, because my life is easy. I don't have to go through. I'd hate to go through all that shit that like. Sure, it's a genuine thing that happens to some people. I believe that it happens to some people, and like it's hard for them. Their life's tough because of discrimination. It's tough because of all just the fucking imagine having to pay for the surgery and go through all that. It'd be tough, but sometimes
it's one thing to have compassion and empathy for those people, but you can't just let that run amok.
Oh yeah. Right? No, but I'm saying that like
I'm not saying you do that.
I feel sorry for you. Your life's tough. I get it, but sometimes there are people in the world with disadvantages, and they have to sort of bear that cross as it is. It's just life. I'm sorry it happened to you. Get some therapy, get some counselling. It worked for me and my mental problems. Maybe it'll help you. But like, what I'm trying to say in a very long-winded form is, if the tallest I become is 5 foot, probably not going to make the NBA. Sorry, shit happens.
Unless, there are a few short guys in the NBA, but you just have to compensate.
I picked like the extreme short, 'cause I think the shortest one to ever make it was 5'4", so I went like 4 inches below that, just to be safe. But if you're born with the mind and spirit of a woman in a female's body, unfortunately you can't do MMA once you become a female. That's just kind of how life has to be.
In a male's body?
Yeah, if you're born as a female mind and spirit, but in a male body, and then you change your body to a female one, sorry, you can't do MMA. That's just kind of how life's dealt you the short straw, and I'm sorry.
Another thing is because, like, you could be genuinely that kind of person, but then what about the people who are trying to exploit that? Yeah. They're sandbagging, right? That would be like...
I tend to think that's a pretty rare I mean, sure, maybe it happens. Did
you see that?
You're pretty... I'd almost go the other way. If you're that committed to sandbagging, then fuck it, get the gold medal. If it was sprinting or weightlifting, but when it's a sport we actually have to inflict pain on other people, then I'm still like, nah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Did you see that UK rapper who did this stunt, who was like, oh, I'm going to identify as a female, break this weightlifting record, and then go back to identifying as a male, like as a sort of like a parody of this whole social justice.
And then people probably... I didn't actually see it, but I can just imagine people were like, yeah, he should totally be allowed to do that, even though he's saying it's a stunt, but they're still like...
Yeah.
But no, like, it goes back to like another example where I'll keep it short because you and half our audience don't follow cricket, but there's like the example of a guy where if you bowl in cricket, you've got to keep your arm perfectly straight. Like,
that's why they do that.
Yeah. You've got to keep your arm perfectly straight.
How do you throw keeping your arm perfectly?
Well, that's just like the bolt. I can't really do it with this couch and whatnot, but it's just kind of like you can do it because hundreds of people, thousands of people do it. But there's like this cricketer who's like world famous, like took world records for like most wickets in tests, and it's a pretty divisive topic in the cricket community. And for me, I think Muralidharan is a dirty chucking cheat. So there's my position. But he couldn't like...
Wait, why? What's
he couldn't like... Basically, like, if you... Like, some bowlers will try and like basically extend their arm and it's kind of a throw and it's like an illegal delivery. But he was getting no balled for that a lot and his whole team protest. And then they like did this measurement where they figured out that he couldn't straighten his arm and they were like, oh, because his arm condition won't actually let him straighten his arm, then he still gets to bowl like in that different fashion. But my thing was, fuck it, man. If he can't straighten his arm, then life dealt him a short card and he can't play cricket because this is how you deliver a ball. Be like, yeah, I can't, like, that's a deformity in his arm that's not allowing him to do the motion properly. If I was born with half an arm, then I'm going to have trouble playing cricket properly. So, but that's, sorry, man, it's life. So, and yeah, that's why I still feel, like I'll stick with that conviction. So,
yeah, it's a topsy-turvy world out there.
It is a
very, very confusing.
It's a crazy old world. So I don't know how many people hate us after this podcast, but here we are. How's your music going?
So I got in contact with this band. They sent me a few of their songs to sort of sing and write over.
Yeah. And
the first I sent the first song back and I got a pretty good reception. They're like, oh, this is pretty good. The lyrics are great. We want to hear more. And then the next song, I sort of went with a lot more risk.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they like the first song, so I'm just gonna go crazy this next song.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sing the whole song like a chorus, go high, and sing about divorce, and then I got nothing back from them.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Happens.
Sometimes you gotta take risks, right?
Yeah. Well, if you can't be who you are as a singer, then probably not a band you want to be in anyway.
Yeah, so. a lot of the times I get it. I mean, I love ranting about musicians, but a lot of people when I send them vocal samples, they always hey, I want to hear your real voice. I want to hear your raw voice. Take out all the reverb. Take out all the EQ. Take out all the effects, and just send me your raw voice. Well, like I would never say that to a guitarist, right?
Yeah.
I would never be like, I want to hear just you strumming the guitar. Unplug it. Take out all the guitar pedals, take out all the amp effects, and I just want to hear you strum on your shitty a Les Paul or whatever. I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, like, I get it. You want to hear my voice, and it's not like I put an insane amount of effects on my voice so that you can't really even, who is this guy again? And like, what's going on? It sounds like this raw voice. It's just very minimalistic, of a small bit of reverb, a small bit of EQ. But I went back and forth with these guys, and it's like I took it down to almost nothing, almost to the raw, almost to the bone, and they still wanted me to go lower. I was just like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Do I ask you to unplug all your shit and hear everything acoustically? No.
Maybe not. I mean, I guess, I don't know enough about the music industry to know as long as all that stuff's available to you when you're performing live, then I guess that's probably like what matters, because they'll probably be looking to do open mics and stuff like that. And man, it must be a pain in the ass to do open mics as a band, because I find it hard enough to organise myself, getting myself to an open mic for comedy.
I don't think open mics really work for a band.
Yeah,
it's not a.
But at least it's something that you can practice it more in your garage with each other and show progress and improvement. Whereas for me, I really need to be going to open mics. So yeah, that's kind of like, I'll stick with that. Whalers on Monday. Occasionally it gets the odd one or two person that isn't a comic, but at least I like it because I can go to Jiu-Jitsu Monday, shower up, get there, more or less put my name on the end of the list, because like most of the comics have already gone between 7 and 8 when I'm on my way there. And like I get up, see a couple of people, socialise, get up, get out. They make a real good jerk chicken at Whalers too, so shout to the chef, bartender, owner, which is all the same person, for his jerk chicken at Whalers.
You should find a place that you could like really get in deep with the club guys. With the owners. Like,
well, I'm gonna start,
because if you're just friendly with them and they could just be like, hey, you want to go on? That's what happened with one of my venues in Chicago. It's closed now. This place called Jokes and Notes. The lady owner was so nice that I think I told the story already. Like, after I bombed really hard, I was looking so down, and she just came and picked me up, and she was like, hey, you want to do a guest spot?
Nice.
And then next week I was performing in front of like 200 people.
Well, it does help to sort of be a good hang as well, because these people will spend a lot of time with you, so they kind of want to, you're getting on with them does help. But I found it interesting. Like I said to you before we started recording, I've started doing classes at Second City for stand up.
Tell me how that goes.
I'm really happy with the teacher I got. I just signed up for Wednesday because it was a day that suited me, and I signed up before I even knew who the teacher was. And I might have picked, if I was picking teachers, I might have picked this guy that I already know and met once.
You get to pick your teachers.
Well, if you waited until the teachers got posted for each class, you'd be able to pick a class accordingly. And I was kind of thinking of picking this other guy who's well established in the scene, and I had a lesson with at one of their drop-ins. And he laughed at some of my material, so I thought that'd be a good connection. But I just signed up for Wednesday because it was a day that suited me, and I ended up getting this teacher who I'm actually really happy with. She's like about 11 years older than me, but very comparable because she actually got into the stand-up 10 years ago, so being 11 years older than me, and so she pretty much got into stand-up the exact same stage of life I'm getting into, so very relatable and someone I can learn.
What does she teach? Respect. Like, what are some of the things that she...
Well, I've only done one lesson so far, but we kind of like did everything from like she talked a little bit about joke structures and talked about what a premise is more in depth, and talked about like we had an exercise where we grabbed like a couple of those really trashy like local newspaper things and like wrote premises out of those, which is quite good. But she also used to be a teacher before she got into stand-up, so good life experience in terms of like as a teacher. She obviously knows how to teach, run a classroom.
It's actually really, a lot like comedy. It's a lot like performing, teaching. You're standing in front of people. You got to keep people engaged. You got to show your passion. It's very similar to performing.
Probably gave her a good leg up in the stand-up scene. But the thing she was saying is that she got started at a late age, but it was actually advantageous to her because when she went to when she was just getting guest spots or opening spots, she was like the same age as the headliners who had obviously started in their mid-20s or whatever. But she could like relate to them as a person, and she made like connections easy because instead of being some mid-20 or early 20-year-old kid trying to like relate to a 35, 37-year-old, she was like on their level and they had things to talk about and it was good hang. So I was like, well, hopefully that'll work out for me as well, you know. But then she's also like, but also if you're getting started in your mid-20s or early 20s, that's great for you because like your
experience,
you'll get the experience at a younger age, and you know you'll be at that level at a good age as well. But she was just basically saying, because our class has quite a wide, there's people older than me.
How many people in the class?
15 counting me.
Okay.
So there's like people older than me, people younger than me, good little variety. And she's like, yeah, there's no bad age to be getting into stand-up because she gave those examples. So yeah, a good little mentor and person for me to learn off.
Exactly, yeah, that's what you need. Like how you're talking about how bands can get better in the garage and shit. Well, comedians, yeah, of course you need to perform, you need to get on stage, but you also need to practice when you're off stage.
Yeah,
it's good to have like a close friend or a girlfriend to run your jokes by, or like a mentor. Or
exactly, I've now got comedian. A lot of my friends are getting sick of hearing my material now that like my girlfriend became my ex, so that was like one source of material bouncing off Lost, but I'm like finding the other sources whether they want it or not. But
it's not a good sign that your girlfriend left you because of your comedy, but
that wasn't the only, you know, but it was also because she just didn't want me spending so much time doing it, but you know, which is fair. But yeah, so that's kind of, it's going alright, and I'm pretty keen to keep on hitting more open mics and whatnot. Probably there's another one on Tuesday, which I'll hit next week. I think they do it every second Tuesday, so that's what I'm kind of thinking we'll do this fortnightly on Tuesdays, and I'll hit the mic.
Do you have, from all the comics that you've seen now, have you seen people like repetitively? Have you seen like, oh, I recognize that guy, I know that guy. Are you starting to see some familiar faces?
You see people around and see familiar faces, for sure.
Do you have someone that you think, oh, that guy's pretty good?
Yeah, there's a couple that, you know, I think are, you know, pretty good for open micers, and, you know, they're doing their thing, and it's just trying to, like, you know, make some comedy buddies, you know. But there's some guys at the mics that, like, not so great. There's some that are, pretty good. So, it's kind of getting interesting. I think I've run out of things to talk about this week, unless you got anything else. I mean, we've got about 3 minutes left on the recording, I think.
No, I think we're good. What are you talking about?
Us. Like us, subscribe to us, the original Naps and Taps.
Peace.